Hello everyone, and welcome to game number 1 between Cat and Ryak. We are still in the group stage of our 1v1 Winter Cup, and here we have a power colony. I'm here with DT, by the way.
Yeah, what a fantastic map power sets have, and it's a power colony.
Iron and water start high, everything else is garbage, so figure that out.
Okay, so scavenger spot, there's no nukes. Okay, scientific it is.
You can kind of go scientist on this iron silicon with dry ice. You just need to ship in your water stuff, which means you die to debt horribly because it's hard to keep track of that.
Either you take the scientific east or you take the scientific or expensive west.
That's not the expansive I would have been going for. With iron starting high, that seems like a bad idea.
It would be so dead if I was playing. But okay, let's go in. It's already upgraded and it's going into water because it's not a double. That's a good. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, Cat's also going for aluminum. She bought into steel, which is something, but it's too late for that. Ryak already upgraded, and he's going to be producing steel now, so not going to help a whole lot. It's unlikely.
He should use his claim on water, I think, get a stockpile and then transition into something else like steel or something.
You mean instead of having auto-off steel mills right now? Probably. Like, having 2 steel mills down I think is fine. You probably just want to do like a triangle of aluminum and a triangle of water or something like that. And then transition once your iron starts flowing in. Cat blocking that second iron tile is interesting, but probably just a terrible idea. I don't think she has the claims to do that effectively. I mean, I guess glass isn't all that expensive, so she'll be able to upgrade by selling down aluminum. Still doesn't feel good.
I really don't like Cat's font. She can really easily be nuked. She's not even next to a resource, which makes it just...
Ah, but if she gets nuked, she can transition into dry ice. You know.
Yeah, let's not go there. Oh, wait.
Dry ice is so good. The game wants this to happen. But no, I don't agree with these reactors at all.
What?
Reactors are just not good.
Why would you put a spy on that? There's no gun on it. You know there's no gun because there's no gun bots.
I mean, counting that stuff is not necessarily
3K. Everything
easy.
Is on 3K. You should know that.
I mean, yes. It's hard to keep track of all that information without all that much experience. Why is Ryak still making steel when iron is $40 and steel is $26? I mean, steel is effectively a lot higher than that, but he's selling down the steel as part of the problem.
He needs to sell anyway. It's like whatever.
Just make the iron money first. I don't know. That's why I wanted the triangle of aluminum, because that still gets him close to the upgrade. And then he doesn't have to be producing steel at a loss for so long. Even though, yes, the true value of steel is much higher. Anyway. Why is Cat going for a geotherm when her carbon is so miserable? I guess she doesn't have many good alternatives.
This was his strategy. He knew there was an auction going to be, and that it would be iron. So he didn't sell his iron. Strategy. It would make sense to do that, to be honest. I've never seen this before. Never seen someone do that before, but...
I guess there is a lot of room for manipulating auctions that players haven't really taken advantage of. Just driving up prices and stuff like that to force...
Okay, Ryak, what you do? Just nuke again. Just nuke again and she's dead.
Which reminds me, why is Cat taking this single low silicon here? Like, I guess that opens up glass eventually, but it's also so nukeable.
Yeah, the middle one, yes.
Yes, excellent.
Yes. Okay,
see, Cat, this is why you go into dry ice instead of reactors. You would have a lot of extra carbon at this point.
With this testosterone, yeah.
I mean, still.
I mean, she's still going for the Geo.
I don't know why Cat's like trying so hard to throw this one.
I mean, Ryak can still die if he doesn't build power.
Yeah, and also the dust storm moving into the farms was not great.
Why did you? Why is there no steel Ryak?
He just deleted his steel. I mean, I guess that helps with his power problem. But what is his plan from here is my question. He doesn't seem to have any plan right now.
The black market is open for business.
Yeah, no, don't spend anything on the black market. You need that money.
Good. Steel's coming back down.
Did he get a gun? Okay.
I think he bought a
Get
claim.
a Geo. Get a Geo. Get a Geo. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Cat also doesn't have money, so Goon isn't that important.
And you know that the gun is on the carbon shield. You can even attack that Geo of Cat.
I mean, do you know that for sure? Now that she switched into the solar condensers? Oh, right, he has the spy there. See, the spy is paying off.
Yeah.
Although, Cat going into a ton of power now, going to solar panels as well.
Okay, upgraded. Yes, I believe.
I mean, power is still $268, and...
Okay, get one more farm, one more water, and go into Geo. Do it.
Let the bidding begin.
I don't know that the Geo ever gets online in time.
This is overrated, don't get it.
Energy Vault?
Let it go.
That's not
for
good.
18k.
I mean, for 14k it's fine. I think you let it go for 16. Since Cat is trying to make power money, that seems like a good payoff.
He should really have... No, he shouldn't have gone... Oh, maybe he should have... I don't know.
I don't know.
He's going to make power money soon.
Why? What's this third farm about? In this line? It's weird. Why no triangle?
Because he's going to make let Cat think that there's a gun in the middle.
I mean, I guess. Except she should know that there's been no goon bot since... I am also confused about the water claim being returned. Ryak does need that water.
You don't need silicon.
Glass is pretty expensive.
Are they even geos? Oh, there are no geos left. What am I talking about?
At this point, it's probably too late to stop Cat from making an absurd amount of power money.
To be honest, I would just go for Corp Winter Pass, but it's too late now.
Cat upgrading is interesting. I mean, she doesn't have money for a goon or anything right now. Ryak should know that these solar panels are still undefended. He can just easily drop an overload on them. But he still needs to get more power of his own down, otherwise he's just stalling by shutting down power.
He should have gone for a circuit overload, but...
You see, this is why solar condensers into some wind turbines might have been nice. Although there's no real good place for turbines. This map is not very friendly for that. No, use the overload.
Yeah, but you already bought it like 40 seconds ago.
Okay, fine.
No, that second one is a waste. Don't build You know that your opponent has a circuit overload. I mean, she's going to use it after this one is finished. Ah, you see?
That was not good placement, because that could have easily just bounced to the aluminum. And you know what Ryak could do right now, since it's the auction? He could have just cancelled that. It was at 95%, and then moved it to the adjacent tile.
True.
It's just a bad overload in many ways. Oh well. Cat still in a...
I will switch the carbon. I mean, she cannot upgrade.
I like how
What
this
is
is
he
less
going
of a
to do?
cast and more of like a backseat ryak and hope he wins.
What did you expect when I came here?
Anyway, why did ryak cancel? I guess because there's frozen, but still. I don't know.
Look, you only have 3 fuels, it doesn't matter.
Ryak still just never came up with a real plan to crash power out, and Cat's just been steadily making so much power money that it doesn't even matter that her carbon is absolute garbage.
If Ryak just went into 2 wind turbines when the carbon was $14, that would make the carbon expensive for Cat. She cannot get carbon easily.
Right, back when they were both like HQ2, that was an option. I mean, Ryak was having trouble making money, but he still had 6k or so. It would have been
He still
enough.
he can still win, maybe.
Maybe, but his debt is problematic,
If
I
he
guess.
goes, if he goes into class now and do stuff.
Why is Cat going into these turbines? She can't afford to spend 160 carbon on 1.2 power. I mean, just put down more condensers or something. That's just way better. Put down glass. I don't care. Just don't spend this much carbon on something that's ineffective.
Okay. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I guess with the dust storm, they're not that ineffective.
Okay, good. You have 6 claims? You need to use your claims, Ryak.
Yep.
You need steel. You need reactors.
He is getting reactors up. That's good. He needs more water to support all his life support. Get a 3rd reactor, get a 3rd water pump, then get like a pair of steel somewhere and call it a day.
And you need to start buying to yourself.
You can probably also just
Let
turn...
it go. Let it go. Let it.
Oh. I mean,
Good.
it is a
No.
it's a pretty big savings when fuel is $200 and water is 30.
No, if you just give it to Cat and she has 3 dead cells because power.
Right, power, but then she makes a lot more money on fuel, except she was sitting on fuel, I guess.
I mean,
But yeah,
Ryak has
definitely
more
not worth
claims.
40k.
It was not even worth 12k.
I disagree with that strongly.
The black market is open for business.
Ryak, put down steel. You need steel.
Who needs steel? He needs money.
Yeah, but steel is also money. You know what would also be money? Turning off some of these... one of these iron mines. Except it's less
Yeah.
money because he did pick up water engine.
What he needs to do is cancel these frozen glass and transition those solar panels into glass.
Maybe.
There's no maybes, yeah. Let's do it. Look, this is why you should have gone into triple water, because now
Yes.
she is punishing you.
I think we've
I should-
both talked about that a lot. There just
Just
needed to be a
go
lot
through
more water production, especially if you're going to pick up something like water engine or cold fusion. You need to know that your opponent's going to be looking for those opportunities to punish you. And you need to be ready for that. Anyway, Ryak made some strong early plays with his carbon nukes, and just never quite managed to put the rest together. Power was difficult this game for him. He never quite came up with a good plan to deal with that. The Geo helped, but that wasn't enough, and everything else was going to be difficult, given his position. But, like DT was saying, could have probably
Just
gotten some early
disappointed in
turbines
both
up.
of you. They wanted me to be mean, I'm going to be mean.
Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to game number 2 of our Cat vs. Ryak match. I'm still here, lose with DT.
Yay!
Electronics colony this time. Pretty limited. Well, I mean, there's plenty of carbon, just not good carbon.
Okay. So, scavenger found? No.
Yeah, just no. Maybe Cat will go for it again though.
Nomad found. There is a nomad found.
I mean, if you want to cave off the high silicon, you can. If you want to found on a bunch of low carbons, you can. But I wouldn't go for either of those.
Yeah. Will probably either be expensive or elite. Because I don't like elite, go expensive.
Yeah, probably just in this aluminum patch. Something.
Yeah, you need to take that one. Because you want to have the iron money. I would just plant expensive time.
Yeah, that's roughly where I would have founded.
A nomadic HQ has been founded.
Yeah, that's workable, but electronics colony makes that difficult. I guess Cat has early water to work with. Might be okay.
Okay.
I would not go for double silicon.
What are you doing, ryak? You don't need aluminum.
Right, not when it starts at $10.
You should have gone into 2 silicon answer, probably.
Yeah, I'm okay with the double iron. He almost has all his steel anyway, so he's fine.
That's fine.
Has his upgrade. Put down a bunch of steel mills now. Then what else? Like water. Solar condensers. Maybe the one with the carbon on it too. You don't need a uranium. You really don't. I mean,
2 solar condensers?
The colony did develop into 3 offices, has a bunch of garages, so the uranium is important eventually, just not now.
Why would you go into silicon? There's no glass money to be made.
Right, there's just no reason to do that. Cat's already going to be selling down a ton of silicon anyway. It's not going to spike. Maybe he's planning on going for solar, but solar is just bad. I guess it's on for 2/3 of the day on series, so it's not the worst thing. But it's still just not great. Probably should sell down some of the steel, pick up a nice cheap goon. Gonna need it for power, especially with circuit overloads. And then you could also buy up this cheap glass before nothing. Cat doesn't need glass. Although buying into electronics is also a nice idea. So that's just rising and rising. I'm a bit worried for Cat long term. I mean, slant drilling off the high is nice and all, but then that becomes a low really quickly. 5.25 silicon, not the worst, but not really where you want to be.
Still even.
Yeah.
I think is probably going to nuclear plants and Grunit to make some power money.
And then she'll probably be planning on going to electronics before long as well. She does have the carbon secured. Maybe even switch out food.
I think the carbon is just to get a stockpile because always late game you...
It's fair. Food is a perfectly reasonable market, probably better than electronics in the moment. Though by the time she gets to 60 electronics, they'll probably be closer to even. Ryak going for solar panels. That's what I was concerned about. Solar panels just do not match up to nuclear plants.
Sold.
It's a lot of money for that tile, but it's already been returned. Fair enough.
Does he have a gun? No, he doesn't. Look, the problem with this is you are using free claims for solar panels and you're not going to make any money.
Right, Cat's going to make all the money before Ryak has a chance for his solar panels to actually do anything.
But not even that, Cat still has farms to push her, even if she's not going to make power money.
Oh, Cat ended up getting a 3rd quarry. She was looking at the 2nd aluminum mine, but the 3rd quarry makes a lot more sense. We're not on IO. You don't need that much aluminum.
She should even buy into aluminum.
Yes, probably.
Iron.
I guess buying into fuel is perfectly fine as well, especially since Ryak is going into these chems.
Oh, what is Ryak?
Why is Ryak moving out of steel again, though? That's my question. He has 15 steel. He still needs 240 plus everything for building. Okay, he's moving back into steel now. It's an awkward transition.
The black market is open for business.
Yeah,
Maybe you get
I
that
see
second
a
chem
lot of-
lab down at this point, get a pair of reactors with maybe switching out some of these solar panels.
The problem is he doesn't have water. That's why he
Yeah.
needed those 2 solar condensed foundation probably.
Turns out water is a pretty important resource wherever you are.
Not on Io.
I mean,
Not this early on, I don't.
yes. Eventually it's very important though.
But that's with everything.
I don't know, there's some resources that just never become relevant. Unless you put a lot of work into making them relevant. Like electronics in some games.
Electronics will always be high at some point.
Not really. If it starts at $50 and there's no colony pressure on it, it's never gonna go more than like 150 or something. Unless they're like multiple off-world builds. Yeah, this is a nice set of buildings, I think, for Ryak. But he's gonna have to keep an eye on power. And water is also an issue. He's gonna have a lot of trouble upgrading. It's just awkward. If he didn't have this silicon tile, he'd be in better shape. If he didn't have all these carbon tiles, he'd be in better shape. Like if he just claimed that carbon tile that Cat has, he could have had condensers there.
Okay, get this claim and buy another claim from the black market and get those solar condensers.
Yeah, that would work.
Then he should be safe.
Cat moving into electronics, she actually turned her nuclear plants off, which is a solid move with Ryak out of power.
You don't want to go to electronics now. So much money to be made in reactors and food.
That is fair, though. Cat would also need a lot more water to make that work. She is going to extra water as well. I don't know. I like the electronics play. It lets her get to HQ5 more easily, and then she could really dominate those markets. Ryak is still shut out of the water markets is the thing. So there is room for that. This power shortage is so lucky for Cat. She just needs to turn those back on. She has. She's in excellent shape.
It's minor.
Is it though? Ryak is going to go into a lot of debt from this.
Okay,
Cat's going to make a fair amount of power money off of this as well.
Look, if Ryak just power surged the food, he's not doing that.
I don't know what Ryak is doing with the black market. He hasn't been doing anything.
Okay, I like this decision. Go for spy. Spy.
Meanwhile, Cat is already sitting on a circuit overload.
Ah yeah, I was looking at the wrong one.
Yeah, Ryak just has his cooldown. He's not using it. He has money. It's not a good place to be. Okay, power surge on food is okay, but the food price is artificial. It's still high, but it's also artificial.
What Cat should do is just kill the food and reactor fuel market now.
I don't think
just
I would have
transition those silicon into something else. Just go ham.
I'm not sure I would have sold out of this water as Cat. I know it's surplusing, but still don't want to make it too cheap.
She's still buying into food.
Yeah, that just... I mean, it doesn't matter because she's making power money, so she's not really trading debt for cash.
Yeah.
Alright. She could take the upgrade. Or she could...
She has to.
Does she though? I mean, she can also just drop the overload on one end of those nuke plants.
If Ryak just uses his claims, he can easily defend himself.
Yeah, but Ryak doesn't seem to be doing that. Just a lot of indecision constantly in these games. Cat has this power surge she can drop on the rest of this right now. Yep.
Okay, just scrap those farms, just build them the other way.
Mm-hmm. Or build them to connect up the silicon, do whatever. Connect up the water, the ice condensers, anything.
You don't need aluminum.
It's this... I mean, that does something? No
This
real.
balance is useless.
I mean, for this price, it's still fine. But you probably don't want to go much higher. Yeah, probably didn't even want to go to 12 for it. Now that he's in D debt. I'm just not seeing way back into this. Cat needs, what, roughly 15k more to get this done? There's so much money in food that she's gonna get there so easily.
The black market.
Well, actually, there are two ways. One way is she disconnects now.
Yes, or she concedes.
Oh, then there are three ways. Well, she concedes. That's bad.
Anyway.
There are so many ways.
The power shortage, the natural power shortage, really just sealed the deal, but skipping water early on was the big mistake that game. Going for that silicon, going for that carbon, neither of them were going to be crucial resources for a while. I know chems were high, but you can't do chems without the reactors to back them up, and you need water for your reactors. I'm not sure I should have gone with IO is the right takeaway from this game.
Look, you can see that ryak doesn't have that's yeah, he has experience, but that's not that much experience. I think both games were winnable for him.
Yeah, there are definitely good ideas in Ryak's play. I pointed this out in his match against PB. It's just a few missing pieces. Never enough water, doesn't necessarily cover all his inputs. He moves out of steel a surprising amount, and he needs to keep producing steel. Like, right now he doesn't have enough iron to sustain his steel, just in general not covering his inputs all the time. And that's just a really important thing in 1v1. The other thing, not using black market consistently.
Now they're not getting those water stockpiles again. I mean water early on that is. And yeah, not using his claims.
I should not have kept
I mean, it's not only about ryak, because I really saw a lot of mistakes on Cat 2. She just makes me happy because she is #1 seed on Group B. Only helps me.
I mean, does it?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, if she were a lower seed, you potentially play her earlier. I don't know. The thing is, if you think someone in your group is better than Cat is, it's a bigger chance that they get through to face you again. Whereas if it was a better player in the 1 seed, then you only face them at the end and you don't face the stronger player earlier and a stronger player later. I don't know.
That's who I'm facing. I'm #1 seed.
I'm not gonna think too hard about seeding, it's probably all fine.
And it's the 3rd seed of Group A of my group. Which could be anyone.
I don't know what to expect for my seeding. Depends on how Kanto does against PB, I think.
But I can already put Cat in the semifinals because no one can overtake her anymore.
Really?
No one. Oh, wait, Kanto can.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no, Kanto... Actually, yeah, Kanto can tie Cat and wins, which means...
yeah.
And they have a split tiebreaker, so you need to figure that out with another game.
Come on, Kanto, I believe. Just win against Blues 2-0.
Right. I control my own destiny. I'm either 2nd seed or 3rd seed, depending on how my series against Kanto goes.
Did you win against PB?
Yeah. I have the tiebreaker against him, so... PB needs to beat Kanto a bunch in order to advance. He needs to win both games. And he needs me to win at least 1 game against Kanto.
Kat says that she played horrible these games.
I,
That's good.
I don't
Kat.
disagree,
Keep
but it
doing
was
that.
enough to win.
We want to see more of that.
I know the feeling of playing horribly. I've lived it for the past 2 weeks. Plus 3 weeks? I don't even know. Let's see. There isn't any other matches that are gonna go on now, are there? Probably not. Everyone's
I
asleep
can
from
play
their
against
group.
you.
I mean, we can play, but that's not for any reason. Do you want to
Can
play?
already do the semi-final? No.
The note I found I think was okay. It wasn't great because of the electronics consumption by the colony, but
The Nomad's font was great. But my text was more.
I guess there wasn't really a great other found to take.
No, that was a good decision.
Maybe you could found a sad, expansive somewhere in the north. Or somewhere in the south. But it'd be a sad, expansive.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do that.
Some people like being sad, though. I guess there was also the scavenger, but the scavenger is bad.
Scavenger.
Like just these 3 low carbons with that 1 extra cave, potentially. That doesn't make use of the big scavenger bonus for Series and IO, which is the non-diminishing. And whenever you're handicapping yourself like that, they're already not off to a good start.
By the way, when do you play against Cancel?